we here at Space Canada, we decided to do a little stream and discuss the Twitch stream in a little bit more, uh, in a little bit more detail. And with me in the stream is Outrider
Howdy.
and Argoween. And we've all seen the Twitch stream in its entirety. There's also been some other developments in the video game world we might talk about. But let's hit the big one. What did both of you think of the Twitch stream about not only just Shadowkeep, but Bungie's plans going forward with Destiny as a whole?
Go ahead, Argwin.
Ladies first.
Alright. Well, I think there's going to be a lot of very, very happy Guardians come September 17th.
It's not Guardians anymore, it's Murder Machines.
Well, no. Monster killing machines.
Monster killing machines, there you go. I like Murder
Guardians
Machines more, but oh well.
Whatever. That's just nitpicking here. No, I do think there's going to be a lot of really happy people. You know, I like that things are going a la carte.
Mm-hmm.
And that you are no longer tethered. Rest in peace, Orpheus Riggs. Tethered to you have to have every expansion so you can actually, really kind of keep playing. Now it's you can pick and choose, and they're almost like little standalone things. And this kind of reminds me a little bit more of Bungie's original roots, which comes from the PC. When they did games like Marathon, they did the Myth series. Mm-hmm. I think Oni was another one they had on it. But the PC games, way back in the day, they had basically called data packs, which were just add-ons that weren't required. It's no longer this, oh, you need this DLC to do blank. It's now, well, hey, here's a little extra stuff. It won't interfere with the game whatsoever. If you want it, cool. If you don't, hey, you're still fine. I like that. I also like that you can tour all the patrol zones on all the worlds.
Yep.
Including the new ones, even if you don't own it. That's great. That's actually really smart advertising, too. You can then take a look at the environment and see how it's laid out, and then decide, do I want to spend a couple bucks and access the new stuff that's here, or just kind of toy around with it and wait till the next thing comes out. It's kind of cool.
You're not beholden to buying the game. Well, we'll use example Destiny 2 Forsaken, and if you're in that FOMO mood, paying that extra $40 for the annual pass, and mm-hmm. you only like one out of the three things in it, and you feel that you didn't get your money worth. Now you can do it where you can. And Bungie said that they're supposedly going to be more open of what's in the actual seasons, I guess you could say, instead of being like, coy and like, oh, we can't tell you everything, but this is happening, but we can't get into details. So them doing that, and you basically being able to see and say, oh, well, there's another Gambit, just like an example, there's another Gambit season. I'll skip that, but I like the other two.
Yeah, you can pick them up individually. And actually, when you touched upon the fear of missing out, the FOMO itself, that kind of really pissed me off about the annual pass one. Because I got it just because I didn't want to be left behind. And I regret actually purchasing it. I don't think I like the premise of having the seasons. I like having stuff dripped out, but that initial pass that we're the last part of, I did not like the offerings.
All right, and now it is. Okay, sorry, I didn't want to.
And now I don't have to worry about that. Yep. I can pick and choose. I like that better. I like that a lot better.
And all right, well, give us your opinion, Argoween. But
Well,
when it comes to what you agreed with him about the annual pass and stuff, do you see it the same way, or is there like a little more you want to add to that? Black
that was
Armory.
the Black Armory.
Yeah, kind of.
My thing is, even with opulence, it's even turned into a bigger grindy hellhole with the chalice. That's even more crap you have to hunt down,
Hmm.
find, not just to augment the chalice, but also use specific runes in combination. So they took the fun thing of the cookie baking from the winter event and turned it into jewelry making hell for guns and gear. It's just it's too many components. If they want us to actually build guns, Pop Tarts, I think you agree with me on this. We go to the gunsmith, we buy
Hmm.
a
Yep.
frame, and then he says these are the parts you need for this scope. This is what you
Yep.
need for this stock. And you build your gun. You go to
We
the
discussed
Black
that
Armory.
too.
Yeah, we go to the Black Armory. It's an armor. Why can't she forge us armor? Instead of just arms and weapons. We have a gunsmith. We need somebody else using these big ass forges to create better armor for us. But that's just neither here nor there. However, they've now said that the game is a action MMO. The
Yep.
three letters that they refused to say for 5 years, they've now
Hmm.
openly said it because I think that definitely was
That
Activision saying you can't say MMO because that means something, blah blah blah. And
that
you
I
don't
have to
want to say
admit
that.
that I was surprised where Dado came because he brought up Adam Sessler of all people. I mean, not
Oh yeah,
Adam Sessler was a good voice of video game community as a whole, but when he interviewed Bungie, they it was like kryptonite to them. They didn't want to call it an MMO.
because that was their um, you know financial partner publishers going. You can't call it that. This is a shooty McBang Bang game.
Yeah. So,
But I do have one little thing that I did say I wanted to make a little bit of a correction because I've had a change of opinion on something actually quite dramatic
all
when
right.
it comes to this game. Eververse, of all things. Originally, what I had a problem about Eververse is, as I mentioned before, the notion that you had to buy the expansions moving forward constantly. It felt like that was their version of, say, a subscription. You constantly had to pay stuff to keep going, and they would lock you out if you didn't. With this a la carte mode, that's not an issue anymore. But now, since it's no longer a
Hmm.
subscription in quotes, I can actually say I'm okay with the cash shop
How
because
so?
if it's somebody like me that I'm not getting the fall season, I'm probably not going to get winter, and I may or may not get spring too. But if I pop on just to play a little gambit with everybody, and I see an emote I like, I can still support the game
Yeah.
without having to shell out 40, $50 in a chunk. I can spend $5.
I think it was like earlier. Um, we were talking about what was it? The Soul Reaver was in here talking about casuals, and you brought up the fact that's a that word with the D. I forgot what it begins. That
Derogatory.
Yeah, that's a
In
derogatory term, and unfortunately, it's a catch-all now for what the hardcores think are people who aren't hardcore like it. But he did say it was more like that person that like picks it up, plays it for like 2 days, and doesn't come back to it in like 3 months.
Right.
That is more casual in the way that we see it. Some people just like you brought up, especially because you have a baby and everything. Some people just don't have the time to put in like most other people do, and that doesn't make them casuals. It just makes them, I guess,
Yeah.
yeah, it's people with their
Exactly. People.
lives, that can't. there are the people who say, well, I have a real life and I can still put in, like, 8 hours a day and stuff like that. But September's coming.
The people that are putting in 8 hours plus a day are like me minus the baby, meaning that they don't not gainfully employed,
Mhm.
and they can sit on their ass and do that, or they stream or want to stream, and they're trying to build their channel or they're profiting from it because they already have an established channel.
I do
I
not know what you mean there by that.
Yeah.
um, no, it's
It was interesting when they started discussing how they're moving forward with their distributing content. And when they said for the seasons specifically that no longer you're going to have to buy a pass and be stuck with something you don't like, you'll see what it is
mhm.
and you can pick it up. And I'm thinking, well, let's see, if the annual pass was like $35, I think it was, um, $10 for a season, eh, if you really like it, hey, that's cool. I'm fine with that. If I don't like any of the season stuff, but wow, I saw this really awesome exotic emote for the same price, I have no problem with that. This is their revenue stream now, and
Yeah, pretty
by
much.
setting up also the core game under that First Light initiative, where you get everything up to Forsaken. You don't get Forsaken, but you can then explore the areas after that. But you get a raid through the Leviathan,
Mhm.
and I think maybe even since Warmind and Osiris are in there, I think you might also
Yeah.
get the layers too. So that's like 3 raids
Mhm.
essentially, and a year's worth of stuff that you get for nothing,
Yeah.
plus exploring everything else. You know what? My prior statements the other night, you kind of toss those aside because this new information has changed my opinion.
Yeah, we didn't have that and you didn't have your rant as you usually do, and the rant mostly, ladies and gentlemen, dealt with PvP, which they didn't really touch on the video. The best allegory, I guess, that Noseworthy came up with is, it's kind of like a house. Um, they want to do, refurbish the kitchen and stuff, but they need to take care of the foundation first because the foundation needs
Yeah,
a lot of work.
yeah, they got to jack up the house, fix the foundation, relay the floors, and then they can remodel the kitchen.
Yeah. Um,
And that's actually, if that's what they're doing, and it looks like they might be trying to retool Crucible and PvP altogether. Good for them. Really, it needs it. It desperately, desperately needs it.
yeah. I think. I mean, I know you said that come come September you won't be coming back to Destiny for a while, but I know why
No,
you won't be coming back to Destiny for a while.
the,
There's
there's too much stuff coming. There's too
yeah.
much stuff coming out. I have a limited amount of time. But also, talking to Mrs. Outrider, I've been playing Destiny, and I'm just going to include the first game because it's just a continuation. It's a long form game that we're playing. Honestly, I don't know why they just didn't continue. But tweaks to the engine and whatnot.
Hmm.
Um, that's 5 years. Year
Five.
6 starts in September
Uh-huh.
for the franchise.
Oh, actually, that will be year 8. Well, no, year
No, the
6, yes, but season 8. I'm sorry, I was thinking.
yeah, year 6 starts.
Yeah.
Season 8, yes, but year 6 for the entire franchise, starting back from 2014 with Destiny 1. I've been with it for now 5 years. I need a break badly. It's getting to this is just something I do to hang out and talk to people, not that I'm actually enjoying what I'm doing.
Hmm.
I just have this checklist of things that I'm going through, and it's like, all right, I just want to get this out of the way. I want to do this out of the way, mostly just to satisfy the stupid completionist in me that needs to get these things done, lest I be agitated that I didn't get them done. I got a big one knocked out of the way when I actually completed Scourge of the Past finally.
Yep, Scourge of the Past. You finally got your clear. Uh, We remember Unfit Frog, Argoine. He, him and a couple of his boys might be coming back because, and I'm going to use the term again, and again, it's just because everyone uses it as a catch-all, and we don't have a better term to call it. A lot of the people in his clan are casuals in the sense that they are away for great stretches of time. And him and a bunch of his boys, they were like, you know, Frog used to raid with us constantly in D1. Um, I was talking about, I think, back in D1 when I would do like 13 raids a week, even when I was done with my other characters, because I love that particular activity about the game is I like the raids. So we'll see about get into the Scourge of the Past for you and a bunch of the other people that haven't gotten it yet.
I haven't done that either, but good
Yeah.
luck on trying to find a group for that thing.
Yeah, that one's I'm fine up until the last phase of the boss, and even I'm like, okay, I'm listening to the guys that are more attuned to it than I am, and I'm like, just faking it really well, guys. Faking it
I just
really
shoot
well.
stuff and throw a ball.
um, but yeah. So let's talk about Shadowkeep. That is there. I like the a la carte feel before we get to Shadow Cart. I'm fine with that. Uh, I understand your opinion on the Eververse shop, and I can agree with it. But I also hate the Eververse shop more now than ever for.
Oh, sure. Now, I'm not saying that I like oh, yes, it's a great thing that they put Eververse in the game. No, now I understand why it's been changed the way it is. Those, I still don't like Tess Everett, and if I could pay
Everest.
$20
Yep.
to direct whatever, but that's how much I don't like her. I don't care what her name is. If I could pay $20 directly to Bungie for a DLC that has me throwing her off the tower, and that's all it was, and she lands on a spike eyelid first, I would be fine. Fine. My guardian for the first time in a long time then says one line, send that back to Fenchurch, bitch, something like that, as he
Yeah.
looks down off the tower.
Um, the reason I'm angry with it is because of um they they took away, being able to get the current season stuff because now you actually have to pay actual real money to get it. And you're correct where this is a way for them to support the game because they did it with World of Warcraft, they did it with, um, other games that have, we'll call it less intrusive, shops where you can buy skins and stuff. But after playing for 5 years and being able to get, exotic emotes and some exotic ships and sparrows, and like the armor sets that they make every year, that's kind of like season that's, tailored for it. And now all of a sudden they're taking that away and saying, "Hey, it's there in the shop. Buy it. You can buy it for, dust if you actually have that amount of dust, or just spend real money for it." I'm
Yep.
still pissed about that aspect of it.
Oh, I am too. I don't like that they took away any of the opulence things. In fact, I can't even look. None of us can look and see what the
No, you
cosmetics
can't.
for opulence are unless they're showing up in the shop directly. They gave us the best of year one's greatest hits um, engrams that decrypt and crap that I know I have pretty much everything in year
I'm only
one,
missing
except
the
maybe like
flip
a
out,
sparrow
and
or
the
two.
and the flip out is not even available.
Yeah, so it's annoying. It's very annoying. I still think there should have been a way to get some things, at the very least, just from playing,
Yeah,
for this season, but I mentioned, I think earlier this week that Bungie likes to, they giveth and they equally taketh away, and they tend to take away things that are established, and that drives me crazy. We've been getting cosmetics randomly now for years,
5 years.
and now they're pretty much all going into the cash shop, except maybe ones for special events. Like, what the proof will be when Solstice of Heroes rolls around in late July, early August, and unless there's a special engram for that drops cosmetics, and if there isn't and it's all in the cash shop, well, there's your answer.
Yeah. It's I
So
That's the aggravate. I hate even going to even Eververse just to get my best of year one engram. I'm sorry.
I know
I mean,
it's obnoxious.
um, I mean,
So
what's your
how about this
feelings?
moon expansion?
All right, let's talk
Well,
about
let's not talk
Shadowkeep.
about Eververse.
Okay,
This could go bad.
because I believe it or not, Outrider, before we got like all the information when you left, because we talked before I started to stream. Um, I went on a rant. I covered your rant about Eververse, at least. I didn't cover it about the PvP aspect, but yeah, I went on a rant. It's just like, fuck, this is stupid. Okay, but anyway, we're going back to La Luna, and guess who not evil, and then it will be showing back up. It is Eris Morn, and it's all about the way they described it about all the nightmares coming back, the nightmares for your monster murdering machine. Uh, and that is the setup for the moon. There is going to be a new raid, and the raid is actually going to happen in the Black Garden, which is cool and looked really nice, what we could see of it. So, thoughts, lady and gentlemen?
I don't like that we're going back to the moon.
What was that? Wait a minute, you both talked at the same time. Let's get Arguin, you first.
Oh yes.
No.
Well,
More.
it's an interdimensional pocket. Well, actually, I should say it's an extra-dimensional pocket dimension that is enormous, and we've only seen a tiny, tiny little bit of it. So they could really go hog wild with the Black Garden and do some really, really interesting things. And I already like the aesthetic of the place. It's
And
technological. It looks like it's a freaking maze. It has all the pretty flowers everywhere. It's
yep,
colorful. I
it
like it.
almost kind of reminds you a bit of Last Wish raid.
Yeah.
In the fact that it's more than just this locked off space. It's got if anyone who hasn't played the Last Wish raid, there's sections that are open. There's some sections where you are in like a cavernous part, but then you get to see more of which essentially the Last Wish is a tower, and there's trees in it and stuff, and as Arguin said, it looks pretty. And to touch on what you brought up, Arguin, where you're only there for that one mission where you beat three gigantic colossus, basically, not colossus, minotaurs. Um, the 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 way it started off was with the Vex worshiping their god. That big blobby thing that was, undulating, that supposedly is the Vex central mind for their whole species. And we never touched on it. We kind of like beat the big minotaurs, and that was it. So, going back, maybe we'll get more. Whether we close the book on the Vex with that or not, at least we get a better sense of closure of what they are and what they truly represent. We got that with the Hive. I mean, we understand the Hive like nothing. We've had two different raids. You can include the Destiny 2 Forsaken in establishing what the Hive and the Taken are in general. But we understand the Fallen. We understand the Cabal, but we really don't understand the Vex. So maybe that raid will put a little bit more understanding in it. But
I think back onto Taken King, and there were actually about, I think, 2 to 3 other missions that took you into the Black Garden in that one. One of them actually, you found a hole that was busted open in the subway lines under Mars, and you followed a bunch of the Taken into it. And I remember having to clear out the Taken in the Black Garden. Now, this new expansion is obviously going to be Hive-based. There's like these new shadow things.
mm-hmm.
Probably there's some Taken crap too.
Well, they're
I'll be
basically
shocked if it
linked to
doesn't
Taken in the
actually.
Hive. So
I'll be shocked if they don't use the central enemies of the DLC as the central enemies in the raid. Because the Black Garden's just like this. It's this big. You can claim it. You basically can touch every single thing in the universe, and and multiple timelines and everything. Who the hell wouldn't want to get their hands on that?
yeah,
I'll tell you, the Hive would.
and
So I have no idea what they're going to do with it. I just like the aesthetic to it. It should be really, really neat when it comes out.
and they didn't mention anything about when it came to like strikes, because he brought that up. Because usually we always got like at least 1 or 2 new strikes per DLC. I'll use the DLC model more than the annual pass model. That, of course, I'm going back to D1 now. I mean, when's the last new strike we got before Destiny 2 Forsaken? I don't.
Warmind?
Warmind? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we got some. There were strikes in Warmind, which were just missions that we completed in Warmind, like Will of a
I think
Thousand.
it's the Will of a Thousand.
Yeah.
Will of a Thousand Voices.
There's Will of a Thousand. There's the Strange Terrain.
Yep.
There's like I think one other.
I think
There
that was it.
wasn't many. Those the last times we got strikes. Um,
I think what
I think the
Destiny
last time there's been
2
new Crucible maps
Forsaken
since.
was we got the corrupted strike.
Yep. But Forsaken, no, there was a couple on the Tangle Shore.
Oh yeah, the Mindbender one. What was that one? You know what? I'm in Destiny 2 right now, so.
And PlayStation exclusive one where you go and clear out the hive nest.
I will go to Vanguard. And I'll find it in the Nightfalls, actually. Corrupted Glacier Shadow. Howl Lair. That's the one with the Scorn.
So there were some strikes there. That's also the last time we saw new Crucible maps.
Yep.
Was Forsaken.
We already know how much Shadowkeep's going for. At least just the base,
35.
just the base game of Shadowkeep, with none of you. They're still offering a catch-all annual pass if you want to get the catch-all annual pass, and that I believe is going for $40. Or you can just simply wait and see what the new, I'll just call them seasons at this point, what they contain in there. And Bungie said they would be more upfront of what's actually in there. So you would, if you say you went the route you went with Destiny 2 when it first came out, or even Destiny 2 Forsaken with the annual pass, you're looking at 75 US. Or if you just get Shadowkeep and then do have a wait and see, you're looking at $35. Uh, yeah, if they have one, I don't know if they have a.
Well,
They
they
do?
do. You have to order directly from Bungie.net, their store.
Yeah,
It's
that's like
$150.
that's like with Borderlands 3 with their Diamond collection, which is like $250 and comes with shit tons of stuff. They kept slowly when it first dropped. It sold out like all of them sold out immediately, and they were kind of like dripping and drabbing more offers for because they had more, you know, pre-owns that not pre-owned, pre-orderings SKUs for like GameStop and everything to sell. The third time they did it, it's just like where Bungie says you got to go direct. You got to go direct through Gearbox to get the Diamond um, collector's edition of Borderlands 3. Um, So, okay, I didn't know there was a collector's edition. I actually haven't
Yeah,
been online until now because of
$150.
that's $100 cheaper than Destiny 2 collector's edition.
No, there was a collector's edition, and then there was the Cade's backpack edition, which was $250 if I remember right, because there was a $100 collector's edition.
That was that
Yeah.
Hawthorne's backpack, and then there was a special edition for Forsaken where you can get a
Statue of Cade.
statue of Cade. And yes,
I think you can actually
you have
buy
it
the
at
statue
your
separately.
altar that you have for Cade, don't you? For that's.
No, it's not an altar. It's just a closet with candles and lots of pictures of him cut out and stuck to the wall with hearts around it. That's all.
So when do you wait? So I know one thing. I know they brought up another thing that Dado did bring up was about story. A fact that there's all these threads that are all over the place, and some of them, yeah, it's really all over the place. We really don't have an idea of what the hell's going on. It wasn't like he was asking for closure for all of them. Maybe for some of them, because some of them just seem like they should just simply end. Um, but he brought up Aldrin Sov, of course, your favorite person, Argoine, and um,
Is that the one that has the altar attached to it? It's a sacrificial altar, not really. It's a voodoo doll. It looks like.
yeah. Oh, I know she enjoyed me reading off the one the special armor set for each one where supposedly the shadow of Earth, and this is according to prophecies by Callus, and you can take or leave them. The shadow of Earth asks to kill Aldrin Sov, and you kill him over and over, but you don't kill his soul companion, which is just basically the ghost. And then after you had your fill, you kill Aldrin Sov. I know she enjoyed that story. um, and that's the thing that bugs us about Destiny. Some of the lore and story is really good. And there's some people that are annoyed that they say, well, all this lore should be in the story. I don't really care about having to read the lore. Um, you've got places like Owl Sector and the Ishtar Collective and stuff that are built around the lore back from the Grimoire card system. So there are those people that don't like the lore, but I would think they're kind of in the small majority. That's my opinion. I don't know what you think, Arguin and Outrider, on that issue. Yeah, they're in it.
I think you're on the small side, both of you. That people actually want to have these stories told in the game through gameplay that you get to experience, instead of this is all your background information. Wow, look how well thought out and all this stuff the background information is. What the fuck happened in the Black Garden that I played through? There's the disconnect. You have all this really, really curated lore entries, and it fleshes out the world, but when you're actually experiencing the world, it's mediocre. They need to work on the storytelling in the game. That's a big part of it. Forsaken was a decent step. I enjoyed the sci-fi western up until the twist with the Dreaming City.
Yeah.
And what was really going on. I still liked it, but it kind of like killed the western vibe they were going for, and it turned it into like high fantasy. It was all right. It was just a strange transition to me. But they by having an alien entity corrupting somebody and taking him over, basically.
See, I didn't watch the Westworld series. I'm aware of Westworld, the original.
Yeah,
the original movie.
I know the original movie. I don't know the series on HBO. So. Was this all in the same season? No.
But
that's all right. I mean, I've never seen it, so I have to take your word on it, and I'm fine with that. I just, like I said, it was a strange transition going from a Western, which was about revenge, and what it really, where it should have gone would be the moral choice, is you finally have crossed a line that you went after somebody not for justice,
for revenge.
but you went after somebody for revenge. The Western hero, I'm sorry, I'm going to go stupid with media studies and all this genre-related crap, because I studied this crap for so many years. The Western hero is part civilized, meaning he can stay among other people, but also part savage, meaning he can't live with them for a very long time. And if your guardian went and pulled the trigger, I don't think it happened, the way how ambiguous it was, but you can read it like the guardian did it. If your guardian pulled the trigger, and you're the Western hero archetype, you don't go back to the tower.
Yeah.
Because you've kind of violated society's norms. So when they threw that curveball in there and turned it into high fantasy, I was like, what? You understand my little... That's why I think their storytelling needs to be worked on.
Well, that's like, that's also taking the... If you want to say choice, your personal choice on what you did, whether you pulled the trigger or Petrovenge pulled it.
You should have had an option. There should have been a button, yes or no. Everybody would have been slamming the yes button over and over again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I was like, what are you talking about? I damn well know my guardian fucking pulled the trigger, and more than once.
I'll wrap up in a minute or two, huh?
But yeah, I think what they did is they wanted to probably do it, and they didn't do it until, I mean, there was the Mithrax side mission in Destiny 2, where you could kill him or not kill him. And people thought, oh, just kill them all, I don't care, shit. And then later on, oh shit, Mithrax is kind of a player. And, then you had the whole Allegiance quests, where you can choose one or the other. Granted, the choice might not mean too much, but it was at least some sort of an agency on how your character views and lives within the Destiny world. I still think Petrovenge is the one that pulled the trigger, quite honestly.
They killed for the allegiance thing. What side you choose, Drifter season? They actually got rid of the reward for doing that. You no longer get the reward package.
Yeah, and the same thing with the Alliance. They took it away. It's gone. It
So
was
what was the big choice? That was the choice. I mean, you were getting rewarded for making your choice, and now you don't get any more reward for it. Okay. So
unless
it's pointless. It's meaningless.
unless they got plans for with the Shadowkeep or even Destiny 3, if there's Destiny 3 is going to be a thing. I
He said
mean,
Luke Smith flat out said that anything they do beyond Destiny 2 is years away.
yeah. Well, from what I
Years,
understand, Destiny
plural.
3, if they do make it, would go on the new platform cycle.
Oh sure, no, expect it to come. No, expect the game
Yeah.
to happen. I fully believe, and even Jason Schreier said that they had people already working on the foundations for this game. But now, since they've separated, they're refocusing all their internal studio departments, and they're now working on fixing and establishing and finishing all the stories they want to tell through here
Yep.
before they move forward on anything new. I hope the lesson they learn is that when they reach the end point to this game, they don't drastically change it so you don't recognize it going into the last one.
Yep.
You know,
I mean, that's
no more double primary.
no more. Yeah. Yeah, but that's I think we hit on a lot of stuff that we were talking about earlier. Well,
Just
I
one
mean,
thing. We kind of skipped something.
oh,
You found out that Arguing likes going to the moon. I don't like going to the moon.
oh yeah, that's right. You were
I don't like going to the moon whatsoever. I don't want to go back to the old places again. I don't want to return to the moon.
yeah.
I know some people do, and it's nostalgia, and you go for it, and they change up what it looks like, and they added some more stuff, and it's 2 times
Hmm.
bigger. It's still the moon. There's still other bodies in our solar system that we have not explored
Yeah,
that we really should be going to.
like Saturn, which was hinted
I would
of.
like to. I would like to explore Saturn. I would like to, and Saturn not is the dreadnought. I want to go to Europa. I would actually maybe go to Pluto or Neptune or hell,
Aeschylus.
anywhere
That
but the
was that
moon.
was that was hinted in Cade's will, where he
Yeah,
says it's on
there's
Aeschylus. I think I'm saying it wrong, but Enceladus. That's right, Enceladus, which might tie into the whole Black Crypt and the Exos.
but then also you look at what they showed, and it's okay. Shadow Skolas, Shadow Crota, Atheon was in it. I saw Axis briefly. It looked like the Shield,
Tanis was there.
Cabal brothers
Tanix.
from that one strike was there. Um, these are I know I've experienced them through playing Destiny 1. I know other people haven't in this game if they just started with this one, but I'm going, why do I want to fight these things again? But with the new structure that they have, I don't feel bad missing out on it.
Yeah, and so people know when we were talking about it's a la carte. You buy what you want. You're not forced to just buy the annual pass and deal with stuff that you don't want to you don't get anything out of or doesn't feel like you got your dollars worth. You can skip, say, because Shadowkeep's going to be considered season 8. Then say whatever's in season 9 doesn't float your boat. You can skip it. You won't be getting access to any of the premium content out of it, but you'll still get like light level increase. You'll still get to play in the events. There might be some exotic quests that you might not be able to access because it was part of the premium part of that season. But as we know, with just this season, Zero came out of nowhere, and that was available to everyone. So just if you get Shadowkeep and says it like season 9 doesn't float your boat, but season 10 is your Jimmy Jam, you can skip 9. You'll still get the light level increase and some the special events, and maybe like they pull out an exotic quest out of nowhere. but you just won't get access to like the raid or uh, any of the other stuff that is specific to buying that part of that season. But again, season 10 comes around, it's your Jimmy Jam. I know Arguing would love this. Cade 7 comes out of nowhere, and he's like, hey, let's go on an adventure. And Arguing's like, you had me at let's. And you buy
Did,
that.
did
You
you did you see that war that's coming out of the what the hell is it called? The menagerie?
Yeah,
You didn't see that, did you?
I
With
read.
Cade 7 referenced?
Yeah, I read that on the stream on
Okay.
Tuesday. And then we kill
The
him.
Scion fanfic, because that's what it is.
Oh shit, I didn't read that one.
No. That's what it is. The first parts of those are kind of like accounts, but then they start getting weirder with like Cade 7 and all this stuff. It's the Scions that are writing, trying to guess what's going to happen to entertain the Emperor, and they're writing fan fiction.
The way I read the stuff off it is as Callus had prophesized this, but the prophecy didn't. They're trying to mold it, like you said, to where Callus approves and gets his rocks off on. Um, but some of it was really well written. Um, like a Kyra Ray, where if you haven't read the armor pieces, and I will show the viewers what you're looking for. You go to collections tab, and you go to the badge. You go to the annual season pass of opulence, and it's on all the opulence armor pieces. I would say if the way the flow goes, and I probably read it wrong on Tuesday, start with the Warlock set from the headpiece all the way down in order to the Bond. Then go with Hunter next in the same way. Start with the headpiece and work your way down each piece. And then end with the Titan. Um, which supposedly ends the whole, as you said, Scion fiction story of the whole thing. But it's really well written. And I there are some that just like you said go off the rails and go kind of weird. But there was some of it that was like, wow, that's interesting.
All right. Well, I will have to cut and run here. It is
All
a
right.
little bit later than I expected because it's after 10:30.
Yes, it is. I'm gonna stop the stream. Yep. I'm gonna put together a fan because it's kind of getting hot down here.
All
Um,
right.
so thank you for Outrider joining me here in Arguing and an impromptu type of stream discussing the Twitch stream today by Bungie and Shadowkeep and the road forward with Destiny 2 and also uh, Shadowkeep, the way the annual pass model now kind of works. So thank you, Outrider, for joining. Thank you, Arguine, on just this really off-the-cuff thing. Again, if you guys enjoyed what we talk about, discuss, and find it informative and interesting and somewhat funny, do what we like to call New Age Gordy House trick. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell because YouTube is weird, and you could also follow me here on PlayStation Network. I'm going to just keep it at, to that. But again, thank you, Artwriter and Argoine, and myself, Super Evil Pop Tarts. And as always, Talking to Fail, executive producer Talking to Fail Kitty. Until next stream, thank you for watching, and remember, in space, no one can hear you apologize.